da da do do. Ba 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 ba. Da da. Ba 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 ba.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you, Carlotta?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. It's a beautiful day here in Melbourne, and but we're still locked down, and we still have to wear a mask all the time. We're still in curfew, but I've been very creative, and making this show, Borna Kazerani. Borna Kazerani's show season 2, and yes, that's it. How have you been?
Very well, actually. So this nice weather is doing great for mental health. So it's amazing. You just go out and you feel refreshed. It's so good.
Of course. All right. It's all right. So, what you gonna sing?
So, the song I'm going to sing today is called Ma Oggi No, which is a happy song about the ex-partners who keep coming back, although you just don't want them anymore. It's like you fucked up too many times. Just go on with it. Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Why not? Let's do it. To all ex-partners. Bravo. Okay.
Vorrei capire adesso che cosa c'è di bello nel rivedersi, riprovarci, stare ancora peggio. Credi sia divertente chiamare a non dire niente, ogni parola, ogni promessa sembra inconsistente. Potrei capirti, ma oggi non mi va. Forse domani credo ti chiamerò, ricordami la mail che ti scriverò. In fondo manchi come il sale al caffè, c'è un attimo di tempo perso, una realtà che fugge ogni però. Forse domani, ma oggi no. Un tentativo è poco, al 2 è già troppo tardi e mi convinco che era solo un gioco di traguardi, o che forse ho sbagliato, non è una questione di stato, e più ci penso e ci ripenso più mi sembri strano. Magari è un caso, ma proprio non ci sto. Forse domani credo ti chiamerò, ricordami la mail che ti scriverò. In fondo manchi come il sale al caffè, c'è un attimo di tempo perso, una realtà che fugge ogni però. Forse domani, ma oggi no. Passo passo poi passa ogni cosa, pensa però ai miei perché, poi scoprirai, puoi perdere anche qualcosa che era già tuo. Forse domani credo ti chiamerò, ricordami la mail che ti scriverò. In fondo manchi come il sale al caffè, se un attimo di oggi no.
Hello, crew! How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Okay, fantastic. So, how's Canada?
Yeah, Canada's doing great. It was a pretty hot day today, but was able to keep it cool with air conditioning.
Okay. So, first of all, thank you very much for being here with me on my show, Borna Kazerani's show. And before I'm going to start my conversation with you, actually, would you like to say hi to those who are watching us now and maybe later?
Yeah, it's great to be here. I'm super excited, and hopefully everyone's doing well today.
I hope so. I hope so. It's a crazy situation here in Melbourne, Australia. So, I've gotten lots of questions for you, and I know you officially started working as a model at the age of 13 and having experience in various countries. So, which is Japan. So, what made you interested in this field industry?
Originally, I was 12 and a half, and I went to a friend's birthday party. And one of the mothers there ended up seeing me, and they're like, wow, that kid should be a model. And so the friend of mine actually told me, like, hey, my mom said you should be a model. What do you think about that? I was like, that would be interesting. Not really sure if that would work out. So I ended up going to my mom after the party and saying, like, hey, what do you think about me becoming a model? So she was like, well, I don't know, we could give it a try. You never know if it's going to work out or not. So we ended up checking out agencies, sent a mail, and they mailed back, and they were like, hey, we'd love to meet with you and get to know you. So went through that, signed with the agency, and the day that I was signing the contract actually was the scouts from Japan coming in asking when I turned 13 so that I could go over there and work.
Okay.
So pretty crazy.
Okay. One, I was reading your biography, which is amazing. So, when you were in last days in Shanghai, Japan, you decided you had enough of modeling, and then you cut off your hair. So, and then, what happened when you made that decision? What was going on in your mind? Because it was too feminine, and it was something like that you didn't like it anymore.
For me, when I was doing modeling, it was almost like a way for me to learn how to be female. So with the modeling, I was basically training myself like, oh, this is the way that girls are supposed to act. This is the way society expects girls have to dress and things like that. So that was my way of learning. And by the time that I think I was 17 when I was in Shanghai. And at that point, I knew that I wanted to transition when I was 16, when I learned that that was an option that was available for people. So I was like, okay, well, I want to transition anyway. When I went to Shanghai, I had already been there previously, and I had very negative experiences with my agency over there. So when I went back a second time, different agency, but same place, I had basically same problems with the different agency, and I was like, you know what? I'm done with having this kind of treatment, so I'm just going to cut my hair, quit modeling, and just be myself.
Okay. That's what made you that decision. So, now I want you to snap you back years ago when you started realizing that your soul is not really matched to your body. I want you to explain to me how you came to understanding about these differences.
For me, I always grew up kind of like one of the guys. I was always interested, like I did camping. I was in Boy Scouts before, because at that point it's just scouts for everyone. So I did like the guy things as a kid. So I was just kind of used to being one of the guys, but when I was growing up, I didn't really have the same concept of gender of, yes, girls are girls and boys are boys, but understanding what makes them so different wasn't really a thought that crossed my mind. And it wasn't until I was about 12, either 11 or 12, when we were learning about sex education, and they actually separated the class. Okay, all the girls are going to sit in the classroom and they're going to watch these videos about childbirth and how the body works and all these like terrifying things as a child. And the boys get to go outside and play football and work on their muscles and not learn any of how the female body works. So that was an interesting experience. But after that, then I felt like, well, why can't I just be one of the guys and go have fun with them instead of learning about all this stuff that I don't want to happen to my body? So that kind of started the thought process in the back of my mind. But at that time, I was still too young to know that there's transgender, there is other options for gender. I didn't know any of that. So until I was 16, I had no idea. And then I was introduced to the cosplay community. And one of my friends there was actually transgender and in school. And so I came into this community, learned about cosplay, learned that there's a bunch of transgender people and genderqueer people that are in this community, that when you dress up as a character, you can dress up as a male character, a female character, whoever, and it doesn't matter what your gender is. And people respect that, oh, if you're dressed as a male character, we'll use male pronouns. If you're dressed as a female character, we'll use female pronouns. So it's a safe space to explore your gender without having the same kind of judgment, because I found a lot more people are open, at least in the Vancouver community, about just exploring your gender. So.
Yeah, you explain a bit. So you're female to male transgender. So tell me, I want to hear more about your journey. The reason that I'm asking you is because I believe that you were the first person who accepted this transformation. Where and when exactly your journey began?
I think that the journey is still something that you just experience throughout life. So the starting point kind of would be, I would say, is when I was 12 and learning about the difference of gender and making that thought of, I should have been a boy rather than a girl, but then not really dwelling on it. So that, I feel, is like the start of my journey. But when I actually took action to make a change, I was 19 when I first came out to my mom. By 16, I had already come out to all my close friends that were in the cosplay community. But when I was 18, I decided, or 19, I decided, all right, I'm going to come out to my mom. I need to make this change for myself because I can't live as someone everyone else expects me to be rather than the person I truly am. So that's where my journey started, and that's actually how the documentary started going on, was I wanted to do a photo shoot of before and after.
I'll ask you about that documentary later. Let me continue with this.
Okay.
The most important part for me in your journey as a gay person, as a gay man, persons. So, when I started realizing that I'm different to the norm, whatever it's called, norm, it was quite challenging for me, and I had to accept it first, who I really am, and who I really want to be, and it was quite challenging, like a mental process, and I want to know about how you accept this. Like, this is who I am, and this is what I am, and who I want to be. I want to know about how you made a deal with that, like mentally, the moment or the time that you said to yourself, "So enough is enough. I want to be true of myself, and I want to hear about that."
So for me, I think that the first time that I was kind of questioning that, again, when I was 16. But even that day that I first went and met people who were transgender and learned about it, I was like, that's what I am. It all makes sense. And I accepted that part of myself. I was like, wow, this is how I've been feeling all along. There's other people who feel this way. It's something that can actually be normal. And it's not just I'm one in 7 billion people that feels this way. So in the aspect of understanding myself and accepting myself, I think that I was fairly quick to feel that way, to not have the challenge of being like, is this really what I want, or is this okay? I feel like I accepted myself very openly. But what held me back was my fear of rejection, which meeting all these transgender people, a lot of them were rejected by their families, kicked out. A lot of them were in the foster care system because they had been kicked out from their families. I met people who were homeless that were just relying on friends' couches because they just had no support. So that fear held me back of being like, well, I'm 16, and if I get kicked out, what do I do with my life? I don't know how to do taxes. I don't know how to pay rent. I don't have a solid job. So it was a lot of that fear of the unknown and the potential, the possibility that held me back.
Okay, that's very understandable. And were there any people who were supporting you, like particularly like for you?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? It cut out partway.
Yeah. Were there any people around you, like your family, your friends, who were supporting you to achieve, like who you wanted to be, or it was just like yourself, you know? And
I had a lot of friends who were very encouraging, and they were saying too that if you don't feel comfortable coming out to your family, it's not something you need to do. Just be comfortable with yourself and find that balance. But there were others that were encouraging, that were like, well, if you want to come out, like just be yourself, be you. If people love you for who you are, they're going to love you regardless of what you are. So that really made an impact on me. And even my best friend is transgender, and he was really supportive with me. And when he came out, it was a great experience to see how my mom reacted to it. And at first she was confused about it, but still accepting. So I realized that that's a better chance that she'll understand what I'm going through. And even if she doesn't understand specifically about what I'm feeling and what I'm going through, she'll at least accept it because she knows that it's something that people do, and it's not a sudden type thing. So
Sure. And this is my own experience when I came out to my friends. Actually, I've lost lots of them, and it's something that actually lots of people experience, that when they came out of the closet, there's not really feel difference. Most of people, they don't want to come out because of fear of losing of their friends or family. It's something that they don't probably want to experience that. But when I made my mind to let my friends and family know about who I really am, it was quite challenging, and it was like I was petrified because I didn't know what was going to happen. And with my mom was quite challenging because I started convincing her somehow, and it didn't work because I've noticed as soon as you started convincing somebody about who you really are, sounds like you're just doing something wrong, and you want them to accept you about who you really are and who you want to be. What was the exactly same situation for you? Or
definitely. Because I was raised by my mom with her as a single parent, it was very important for me to be accepted by her, because she's all I have as a parent, as family, as someone that's always been there. So that was really important for me. So that's why I had so much of that fear. But by the time I was 19, I had so much held back of myself that I had a lot of doubt towards how I was going to be happy if I was going to pretend being someone I'm not. So that it reached a point where I was like, I either have to transition now and be open about it, or I'm not going to live for another 2 years. It was to that extreme point of I could tell her and lose her, but at least I'll be able to live as myself, or I could not tell her and she'll never know why I disappeared. So.
okay. I believe that there are in society or in life, so there are lots of people who don't have much information. I mean, accurate information about trans people or even gay or lesbian people in general, like LGBTQ. So, what is your interpretation as someone who is transgender, who's been through in this journey before?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
We are living in the world where there are lots of people, there are thousands, million people they don't have enough accurate information about trans people, or in general about like gay people, lesbian people, LGBT people. So what is your interpretation in this regard?
I definitely think that throughout the last couple years, there has been a lot more information going out about the queer community as a whole, especially about transgender people. But a lot of that information wasn't accessible 5-10 years ago. So having that information accessible now has really helped me especially, but a lot of other people that I know. So it's really nice to see that there's this influx of information about how transitioning works, how being genderqueer, gender fluid, whatever it happens to be, they're being gay, being bi. There's all this information that you can hear stories from people who have experienced different things, and you can hear how they've come to terms with themselves, how they've made strong friendships, strong relationships, and even about physical changes, like with transgender, the surgeries. A lot of that information wasn't around back in the days, but now you can actually read up about it, and there's timelines of people who have taken photos their first day on hormones till a whole year of taking hormones, and there's photo evidence of like, this is how a body has changed over time. So it's cool to see people sharing that information so that there's this understanding of what the process is and how other people feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Did you know that in Iran, in the country where I was born, it's the only country on the planet where issues a new birth certificate when someone wants to change his or her gender? But if you're identified as a gay or like homosexual person, you will be executed. What is your opinion about that?
I think that it is a tragedy that people are full-on executed for being true to themselves, for trying to love themselves. I think that because being gay does not harm yourself, it does not harm the people around you. It should be something that if other people don't like it, they can ignore it. It's like watching a video. You can like a video, or you could dislike it and just stop watching. It's out of your sight, it's out of your mind. And the fact that people can't live in peace and find love for themselves and for other people around them, to be condoned for that is extremely sad.
It is extremely sad. Someone like me who never get a chance to go back to his motherland. I haven't seen my family for 15 years because of I'll be arrested as soon as I arrived at the airport in Iran. But let's change the atmosphere. So I know you've got a lot of things to share. So I want to ask you a favor to give us a tour. I want you to pick up your phone and like your camera. There is an option so you can reverse. You can click on it, like, and you can reverse the camera, and then show it to us, like, just take us with you and show us some of the things, please.
All right. My house is pretty messy, so I'll just be showing the magazines. All right. So let's get the switch here. So here's my my wall of magazines that I've gotten. My mom tells me that I have to get all of them, and I think it's very nice.
Wow. Very famous and well-known modeling. Amazing cover with your pictures.
Oh, yeah. All right, wow. So I'll take you to the first one here. So this is one of the ones I've done in London. This is Rain magazine, and I put a little note thing in it so I can actually find the pictures. So this is just one of the magazines that I've been part of. It's incredible that there have been so many people who are super supportive of me and the journey that I've been on. And most of the different magazines and different fashion designers actually picked me not just because I'm a model, but because I am specifically a transgender model. Because showing that people who are transgender can be a model and can just live their life to the fullest really sends a good message. So it's been incredible to be on this journey, and having people like Vogue, GQ, Antidote, Numero, a whole bunch of other ones really help me out and make a place that even the everyday person can see that being transgender is something that's normal and easier accepted. So.
Well, they're amazing photographs. Well done.
Yeah, this one was photographed by Collier School, I think is how you pronounce the last name. Collier Shore. I'm sorry if I'm saying their name wrong. But they also shot my first Louis Vuitton campaign. So it was really incredible to do just a one-on-one photo session with them. And especially for Luamo Vogue, I'm actually the first transgender man to be on the cover of Luamo Vogue in their 50-year history. And this was their 50th anniversary that they decided to use me as the cover. So that was a incredible step to be the first transgender man to be part of that. So.
What? They're amazing.
Yeah, I absolutely love doing photo shoots. It's so fun to meet everyone and to be creative and see how people see the world in a different light, whether it's the photographers or the designers or the hairstylists, makeup artists. There's just so much creativity in the community.
Amazing.
So.
Wow.
This one is a really fun one. One of the mood board for this was basically a mix of Johnny Depp as a crybaby, and then a bit of Elvis with some of the like leather suits.
Wow.
Yeah, this one I remember that I was definitely feeling it in my hips for putting all my weight on that chair. It looks like it's just simple and flawless, but that actually took quite a bit of strength. Whoop. Doing some dancing to get some of the movement for there.
Amazing.
And this one, they wanted to have some sort of like crazy arch, and I was like, well, I could just have my hands on the ground and just arch my body like that. And they're like, oh hell yeah, let's try it out. Gotta have some gymnastics in here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's the last page. But yeah, so I've been part of so many things within just a year. It's coming up to 2 years now, but because of COVID going on, of course, things have slowed down for almost every industry from what I understand. So I haven't been able to see as many people as I usually do and get to work with them. But hopefully once everything clears up, I'll get back in the schedule and see all the people that I've gotten to know.
Wow.
This was a really fun shoot that I did in New York for Numero, I think this was the Netherlands? Yeah. So this was for a magazine from the Netherlands, and I loved being able to work with the photographer and the rest of the team because everything was just so creative and colorful, which I don't often get to do the really like artistic kind of photo shoots where it's almost more art than about fashion. So it was really fun to be able to try something that was just like a whole new experience.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I love this one. They had eyes that were just like glued to my face with hair gel or something.
Very creative. Wow.
And then this photo was actually with 3 different lights and a long exposure lens. So whenever the light went off, a photo was captured, but it still kept it as one image as the other 3 lights went off. So we had a few of them like spinning around and dancing and doing a different thing. So it was very cool to get that. And then on to the next person. But yeah, so...
Oh my god, I know there are a lot. So, which one is with the Q? GQ. Show us that one, please.
GQ? Alright. This was super fun.
Let me see the whole cover first.
This was shot in Spain. It was in, I think, Madrid? Yeah. And it was really cool because they took me on a drive outside the city, and we were by this sort of lake, but it was super sunny and super dry that day, so it almost looked like it was desert by the beach area. But then there was just so much nature around us. It was incredible.
Oh my god, I love this one. They look amazing. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I remember, I think I got a bit of a sunburn that day afterwards. Luckily, it didn't show up in photos, but afterwards I was like, woof! It was definitely very fun.
Wow. Wow. There's still a lot. You traveled a lot.
Oh yeah, I've been to, gosh, I don't even know how many countries at this point. But it's definitely, this job has given me the chance to explore so many different cultures and so many different places, and just because it's my job, which is incredible and an experience that not many people get to have.
Wow. Amazing. Have you ever been... Thank you very much for showing us this. You can get back on your chair. So, have you ever traveled to Australia before?
Pardon?
Have you ever been in Australia before?
To Australia? No, I have not been to Australia yet.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for showing us that. I really appreciate that. Proud of you. So, I know you have already participated of the documentary about your life, kind of about your life. So, talk to me about that documentary a little bit, please, and tell us where we can watch, actually, where we can find to watch it.
So Krow's Transformation is a documentary that was started right before I started my hormone therapy. So I think a month before, me and my mom decided that we wanted to do a photo shoot of before the transition, and then after the transition, after I'd had a year or two of hormones, and see how like my face has changed, how my body has changed, and everything since then. So we went to the producer, Gina Hole, and she actually at the time ran a studio that she had photographers, she had makeup artists, hairstylists, wardrobe stylists, everything you need for a photo shoot and for fashion photography. So we asked her if she would be interested, and she came to us and said, well, what about doing a documentary and actually recording the transition? So we were like, all right, well, it's going to be out there, and I'll always be out as a transgender man rather than just another man. So I was a little hesitant about that just because I wasn't sure how people would perceive it. But when I thought about how many people could relate to me and could be like, oh, I feel that way too, and I can see that there's someone else out there that feels that way. I thought about how many people that could save just by simply knowing that they're not alone. So I ended up doing the documentary. We filmed it for, I think, 3 to 3.5 years. I think half a year was in production. And yeah, we were able to get it out, and it was my hormone therapy, the surgeries that I had, everything that I was feeling mentally and physically at the time. And then there's also some other people like Cass Baker. He's a good friend of mine that we met through the documentary, and he also transitioned, and he did it 7 or 8 years before I did, when there wasn't the information on the internet and you didn't really know what you were getting into. You were just told by doctors at the time what the process is. So it was really cool to get to meet people like that and experience, like, hear their side of the experience as I was going through my experience. So that was really cool. But the documentary can be found in Australia. I think that it is on Out TV on Amazon Prime. In Canada, I think it is on Amazon Prime in general. It used to only be on Out TV, but I think that's changed. And then we're still waiting to hear about if a production company in the States is going to take it or not. It's still in the discussion. And there's also other plans for places like London, we're thinking about, or the UK. And we're trying to get it more across Europe, like in Paris, Italy, Spain, different places like that. So we're still hopeful, but it all depends on how the production goes and how the people decide to take things. So.
Congratulations, I can't wait to watch it. So I was waiting till like get this conversation done, and then I will watch it actually. It was amazing conversation with you, and thank you very much actually for being here on my show. I really appreciated your time. Did you like our conversation?
Yeah, it was super fun, and it was great getting to know you. I've been really excited to be here and be on your shows, because I love how you talk to people and find out about what their life is like, and just kind of explore how different people live and what their jobs are like. It's really cool to see you just have a wide variety of different types of people to show the world.
Thank you so very much. All right, so we have to wrap it up. So do you wanna say goodbye or something?
I think that's pretty much everything. I would like to say thank you to everyone who has supported me so far and who has really believed in the cause of trying to make exposure of transgender people more visible in the public, and kind of help people understand that you can be who you want to be, and that shouldn't restrict what your job is, what your love life is, who you want to be, what you want to be. It's just you be you, and people are either going to like it or they're not going to like it. And if they don't like it, cut them out.
Good advice. All right, darling. It was lovely talking to you again. Hopefully to meet you one day in reality, in Australia or in Canada, somewhere.
For sure. It would be super fun.
Of course. So you take care, sweetheart. It was lovely talking to you. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much. You have a great day too.
You too. Thank you. Take care. Bye.